Attention restaurant operators, get ready for the 29th Annual Menu Masters, the culinary event of the year happening May 16th at Morgan Manufacturing in Chicago. Presented by Nation's Restaurant News and sponsored by Ventura Foods, this premier gathering celebrates the industry's most iconic innovators and showcases the winners of the prestigious Menu Masters Awards. Plus, you don't want to miss the epic after party, where the vibe is cool, the music is hot, and this year's party swag is top-notch. Join fellow tastemakers and industry leaders for an unforgettable night of inspiration and connection. RSVP today at the link in our show notes. Early registration is strongly recommended as this event sells out every year.
Chili's chicken sandwiches were a hit. Taco Bell is firing on all cylinders, and Wingstop had a rough winter. Welcome to Restaurant Daily, your daily dose of the most important news in the industry from the editors of Restaurant Business and Nation's Restaurant News. I'm RB Executive Editor Lisa Jennings.
And I'm NRN Senior Food Editor Brett Thorne. Chili's continues to one-up itself. Same-store sales at the casual dining chain rose 4% last quarter, on top of a 31% increase a year ago, marking its 20th straight quarter of same-store sales growth. Though January results were hurt by Winter Storm Fern, Chili's exited the quarter with positive sales and traffic. That trend has accelerated in April thanks to a new lineup of chicken sandwiches that are selling 161% better than the previous version. Stock in parent company Brinker International surged more than 15% Wednesday on the strong results.
Now, the question for Chili's is, how can it keep this up? Though traffic at the chain has soared over the past 3 years, it's still 20% below peak levels from the early 2000s. So Chili's can definitely do more, and the company is studying its top-performing locations to understand how. It's learning that operations need to be even simpler in order for its restaurants to serve more customers. Early efforts are focusing on cycle times, which includes every step that goes into turning tables, from the host stand to the payment process.
Taco Bell also had a strong quarter. The quick-service brand turned in a same-store sales increase of 8% during the first quarter, which lapped a robust 9% same-store sales increase a year ago. Executives said the chain is simply firing on all cylinders right now, with cultural relevance, a strong value proposition, menu innovation that is generating more occasions, and improved operations.
Taco Bell's sister brands also did well, except for Pizza Hut. Parent company Yum Brands' global system sales grew 6% in the quarter, with a lift also from KFC Global, which was up 6%. Yum is no longer breaking out KFC U.S. same-store sales, but mentioned that global same-store sales were up 2% for the chicken chain, while they were flat for Pizza Hut, and up 5% for Habit Burger and Grill. Yum didn't provide much detail about Pizza Hut's strategic review, first announced in November, but noted that the process continues to progress, and executives expect the review to be completed this year.
Wingstop's first quarter proved just how unforgiving a brutal winter can be for some restaurant concepts, and also for concepts with a heavy mix of lower-income consumers who are struggling amid relentless inflationary environment. Wingstop's domestic same-store sales fell 8.7%, marking the 7th straight quarter of decelerating comps and the 3rd straight quarter of worsening 2-year comp trends. Because of the softer quarter, the company revised guidance down for the full year. CEO Michael Skipworth, however, remains confident in the company's strategy, noting that the Wingstop Smart Kitchen continues to yield improvements while its loyalty program is set for a second quarter launch. Wingstop's recently introduced ad campaign is also generating new customers.
The number of independent restaurants in the U.S. is shrinking. The country saw a net loss of roughly 9,500 independent restaurants last year to 412,498, down 2.3% year over year, according to Technomic. The decline was even more pronounced among full-service independents, which fell by 2.6%. That's a much greater loss than the decline in full-service chain restaurants, which were down 0.1% last year, or essentially flat. The count for limited service independent restaurants was down 1.8% last year, while limited service chain restaurants grew in number by 1.6%. Fundamentally, there were too many restaurants chasing too few consumer dollars, said Technomic Senior Principal David Henkes, and independent restaurants are more vulnerable to macroeconomic pressures.
The Miami-based chain Talkin' Tacos has struck a chord with birria. The concept began as a food truck launched just before the pandemic by two childhood friends. The menu focused on birria tacos, which at the time hadn't hit Miami yet. With the help of social media, the concept took off, went brick and mortar, and now has 35 units in 6 states, with another 24 expected to open over the next 12 months, mostly company-owned. Birria, made with halal meat, remains a cornerstone of the menu, accounting for nearly 40% of sales. To read more about this buzzworthy brand, see restaurantbusinessonline.com.
And that should do it for Restaurant Daily. Check us out every weekday, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Lisa Jennings.
And I'm Brett Thorne. Have a tremendous day.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Restaurant Daily. Rate us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and subscribe.
Attention restaurant operators, get ready for the 29th Annual Menu Masters, the culinary event of the year happening May 16th at Morgan Manufacturing in Chicago. Presented by Nation's Restaurant News and sponsored by Ventura Foods, this premier gathering celebrates the industry's most iconic innovators and showcases the winners of the prestigious Menu Masters Awards. Plus, you don't want to miss the epic after party, where the vibe is cool, the music is hot, and this year's party swag is top-notch. Join fellow tastemakers and industry leaders for an unforgettable night of inspiration and connection. RSVP today at the link in our show notes. Early registration is strongly recommended as this event sells out every year.